like focusing on where you already have abundance can lead also into gratitude, which is
Mm-hmm.
another super powerful way to manifest what you're wanting for yourselves. So I really love that you shared that dream. It's a beautiful dream, and maybe that dream also gave you, because you're very clairvoyant and you love your clairvoyance, right? Like you can focus on the visual of that sack filled
Mm-hmm.
with those checks, and maybe every day just pull one out and see what's on it for yourself, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and start really feeling that for yourself.
Well, I felt it immediately because when I
Mm-hmm.
woke up and I
Mm-hmm.
realized I had that dream, it was like, oh my God, I've just felt so good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I'm really glad. I'm really glad. And our dreams can be a way for our souls to communicate with us and for our guides to communicate with us and our loved ones in spirit to communicate with us. Um, and I think I've said this before, but when you're sleeping, a spiritual belief about sleep is that we're actually having those soul experiences. We're having experiences in the world of spirit. And that's why our
I
dreams often
believe
don't
that.
make sense
Yes.
to us, because then we're trying to process them through the limitations of our brain and our memory, which we can't do. So the dreams become distorted in a lot of ways. But you can even start setting intentions for your dreams. So what do I mean
Mm.
by that? I mean, you can set an intention of maybe there's something you're working on with your own healing and your own growth, and just say before you go to sleep, you know, help me work on this in the unconscious mind while I'm sleeping in the world of spirit with you. And sometimes it's just as simple as that, you know?
Okay. I'm gonna
Yeah,
try.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Michelle may be able to come in without her camera, just listening. She's traveling. Lindsay is also on an airplane. So we're going to get started. And I've been feeling this push to share something that's been going on with me personally to show you really the potential of the power of your souls. So I had a little conversation with Michelle earlier today, and we talked briefly about the belief of what's possible from the world of spirit, the belief about how the world of spirit can help you. And I was like, oh, okay, there's my sign. I must talk about this. All right. So, what I'm going to do is share a little bit about what I've been doing for my daughter and something that actually happened last night that has blown, I don't want to say it's blown my mind because I knew it was possible, but it's left me speechless about it. So, my daughter is in the midst of a very high risk pregnancy, and all the things that potentially could happen during her pregnancy because of physical issues with her body started happening. And this has been going on since January. And it was just been one hit after the other medically with the development of the baby, her health, the pregnancy. And she's followed really, really closely. She's getting great medical care. She's seen twice a week. She's connected to a hospital, big hospital in Boston. She has multiple doctors taking care of her. And the past few weeks in particular have been pretty hard for her. She's been told she may not carry the baby beyond 31 weeks of pregnancy. She's been told she has gestational diabetes. She's been told that the baby is not growing at the right weight. It's basically becoming malnourished because her blood pressure is high. It's restricting um, flow of nutrition through the cord. The cord is losing the flow, and there's no reversing any of this. She's been told you're probably going to have to go into the hospital to be monitored closely until we have the baby. And basically, we're going to have a preemie baby. So last night, she had, one of her appointments with the big Boston doctor. And they did an ultrasound. She's had a million ultrasounds. So they did an ultrasound to check the baby's growth, to check the cord. And he said, I don't know. I don't know how this is happening. Um, he said the baby's percentage of growth increased dramatically. Now, this is only since Friday, okay, because she's checked a lot. He said the cord has restored itself to 100% functioning. He said, I have never seen this happen. I have no explanation for you of how this can happen. And all I can say to you is this is a miracle. He said, we're going to cautiously celebrate and we'll see if it maintains, if everything maintains itself this way over the next 2 weeks, because she also still has the diabetes, the high blood pressure, and all the things. So anything can happen. But if it stays like this for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to remove the diagnosis of, basically she has a diagnosis of restricted growth, and I forgot what they call it with the cord, something, a scary diagnosis. And she said, I want to know how it happened. He said, you and me both. I can't explain it to you. I can hypothesize, but I've never seen it. It's very rare. It doesn't happen. So of course, she called me right away after her appointment because she was like beside herself with joy. And I said, Shannon, I feel like I know how it happened. So this is what we've all been doing, right? I have people in my family that are very religious. So they've been praying. I pray in a very different way. So I've been praying in my way, which is more about a prayer of thanksgiving, a prayer of gratitude. I've been sending Reiki in specific ways, not just Reiki to the baby to grow, but Reiki to the doctors to make the right decisions, Reiki to my daughter to take care of herself, Reiki for many parts of this whole situation. I have another friend who's a medium and Reiki master. She's been doing the same. And another friend who's a medium. She's been spending spiritual healing. My daughter has been taking stellar care of herself, following everything to a T, doing everything she's supposed to do. And I've also been manifesting, like seeing the baby, not just when she's born, but seeing the baby later this year, seeing that. My daughter keeps insisting she's an Aries, which means she would go closer to full term or full term. She's like, I just don't believe this baby is an Aquarius or a Pisces. She's an Aries. I'm like, I feel like she's an Aries too, like personality wise. So in my own daughter's own way, even though she doesn't believe in all my woo, she's manifesting, right? And I said, I feel like when you put all these things together, you can shift what's going on for yourself. And I've always believed this, like back even before my whole mediumship journey, back when I was like religious Catholic Kim, and I would look at Jesus, like the stories of Jesus healing, and I'd be like, Jesus knew how to pull out the soul of the person to get that person to heal themselves. Like that's how I looked at it. He just knew how to do that. Greatest healer of all time. That's a potential for all of us. We just don't know how to do it. We can't figure it out. Um, so I'm sharing this story, and I don't know what will happen when she's seen on Friday. But for today, we're celebrating, we're happy, and today things are better in a dramatic way that the big Boston doctor cannot explain. And I want you to remember this story as you're thinking about what's possible for you. When we're together at the retreat and you're talking to your guides about what you want for yourself and how you want them to help you, I want you to remember it's not always one thing. We can't just throw our manifesting out there and leave it. We have to also do the work. Like my daughter needs to take care of herself, right? She's got to go to her appointments. She's got to eat right. She's got to check her blood, blah, 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 right? Sending the energy healing, wrapping that around it, the intentions, the manifesting, all these things. When you place everything together, you can shift the reality that you've been dealt in that moment. And that's one of the reasons why we also do manifesting in this program, because it's another way for you to connect deeply with your soul, because it's your soul that's creating that reality for you, right? And it's you asking for that. And then also as an entrepreneur, doing the things you need to do to help move that along for yourself, but also opening your awareness as opportunities come your way, right? Um, Recently, I referred someone to Julie who's not her ideal client. I was like, I don't know. I feel like Julie could be the ideal person for this person, and it will just make her work in a little different way. And she seized it, right? She wasn't like, no, I don't work with that kind of, I don't work with that population. She's like, okay, right? So it's about like kind of opening up too, like what's coming your way? Maybe it's meant for you for something. Maybe it's meant just so you can pay a bill. Maybe it's meant because there's something about that person that's going to create something new in your work, right? A new interest. So all of you are opening up your awareness beautifully. You're starting to notice, you're paying attention, you're becoming much more sensitive. And I know that that can be hard. It's taxing on you, it's exhausting. Um, but it's the journey of blending with your soul and doing this work with your clients. And Michelle, I'm sorry, I'm going to repeat myself because you already heard this, but like even the mediumship development that we're doing, it's not for you to do this stellar like reading for someone with so much evidence. It's about you being able to do this work with your clients, connect, shift your business, and do that. And as you go along, if you decide, oh, I really want to give actual mediumship one-on-one readings for people, you're just going to keep developing it to do that a little stronger. But we practiced last week, and Julie, I don't know if you got a chance to see the recording of doing, yes, readings like particular for your line of work. That's what this is really about, right? So that you can
I
build business.
I
Mhm.
enjoyed that so much. It was so powerful. It felt so powerful. And I even felt that I was participating in it.
Good, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So like when you're watching a recording, so for instance, when you watch the recordings of one another reading and you're not the reader, you can in that moment connect in and see what information you're getting, you know? It's just another way for you to practice. So, Julie, you could do that because you weren't even here witnessing it, right? So it'd be even easier for you to connect in that way and see what you were getting. Um, but each of you is going to have specific ways that you're going to work that's going to help create your uniqueness and the thing that's going to make you very special for your clients and your business. And those things are already starting to come to light. So, any questions? Anything? Oh, and I see there's some messages in the chat, so I'll look at those. Oh, Michelle, thank you for sharing that about your pregnancy. Mm, yeah, Jesus pulls out the soul. That's how I look at it. I think it was my Reiki training that helped me with that too. The idea of that. Yeah. I I don't say I'm a healer. it makes me cringe when I hear people saying that. I feel like we just make the healing possible. That we all are actually at the end of the day healing ourselves. And that practitioner is just helping you do that. You know? Yeah. Any thoughts or questions? You guys can unmute. We're small.
So exciting what's happening with Shannon and her baby. I'm enjoying the story and thank you for catching us up on how things are going. This is fantastic.
I know.
So
I know.
good, Kim.
No.
Oh, I just had to say
I
thank
love when science backs up the woo,
Hmm.
you know? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Because he was like, you're eating right. All those things wouldn't create this change. None of those things that they're doing would create this change. So it's outside of that arena. Crazy in a good way.
very good crazy. The
Yeah.
kind of crazy we keep wanting to manifest. That's the
Mhm.
kind of crazy this world needs right now, in case you haven't noticed what's going on.
I know.
I'm
I
just being
know.
sarcastic.
Mhm. No,
Anyway,
it's true. It's
yeah,
true. And another reason why it's important for you to really build your business and start making money is because you're exactly the people that will do the right things to help humanity, you know, with your own resources. So I think we have to power through as
yeah, I
women
agree.
and as spiritual women and compassionate women. It's very important.
Yeah, it's feeling
Yeah.
like it
Yeah.
too.
All right. Any questions from this past week? Anything that you've experienced while sitting with your soul or practicing or just thinking or in your work where you had an interaction with a client that you want to go over? Anything like that?
Had a tremendous amount of validation this week.
Okay.
I have a new client, and I had my new client pop on her call with me yesterday, and it was our first session, and she came out and said the very thing that I acknowledged to you, which is she's so happy that she gets to sit with me. She calls me her counselor. She can call me anything she wants. I told her I'm really your coach, but if you want to call me that, that's okay. Um, and she introduced me to her mother, and she told her mother that she was thrilled that she gets to speak with me once a week for an hour, and she gets to talk to me and say things that are really important that she cares about. And she's so excited that I can listen to her for an hour every week. And she was so excited, waiting for our call. It was amazing to receive that.
Mhm.
It was amazing to sit and hear the things that were on her mind that she felt she was so deeply grateful for having me there for. And when I first took her on, she was afraid that she was too much for me. She's too
Mhm.
much for everyone. And I have been sitting calmly, just feeling a lot of gratitude and holding that space. And it's exactly what she wanted and what she needed. And I didn't know that that's what I would get to be doing for people, really,
Mhm.
honestly. And I know she had moments of peace during our conversation. And that just felt like I was plugged in to my soul the whole time. It was amazing. It was amazing.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And I want to always remind you guys, I'm not a business coach, but I really think you should do a post about that, by the way, about what she said about spending time with you. I think it's really beautiful and people need to hear it. Okay. It could just be a simple color block if you don't want to write the whole story. And where in either your consultation with her or your first session with her were you noticing that you were really working more intuitively?
Yeah, in the consultation for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I remember in the consultation, she was telling me I'm so much that I have so much going on. I'm so much. There's, you know, so much uh heavy things going on. And I think she was waiting for me to be afraid
Mm-hmm.
and say, I'm not going to deal with this, right? And at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, my intuition is saying, you can absolutely do exactly what she needs. All she really needs is space to communicate her truth because nobody else can take it from her right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I can.
And then when she said those things to you yesterday, that's the response to your intuitive hit, because that's
Yes,
exactly what she's telling you she needs from you.
yes, it is.
Okay.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that should go in your intuition log, by the way. All right. And Deb, I'm going to also say that when you received that in the consultation, are you aware? Was it more like a conversation? Was it just a little blip of an intuitive hit, like your intuition, or was it you got that whole thing?
What do you mean exactly?
So with our intuition, it's quick, right? And it would just be this quick, either knowing or feeling that she's just going to need you to listen. The mind can come in with fear like she's going to be too much. So sometimes with intuition, it doesn't settle the mind always, right? But like you got this whole thing about like, this is what she's going to need, this is what you're going to do, and it's going to be okay. And you didn't in your story say, when you were just talking, you didn't say, I was still nervous.
Yeah, because I wasn't. I mean,
Okay.
my mind came in wanting me to be nervous. My mind
Yeah.
came in wanting me
Mm-hmm.
to double check
Mm-hmm.
and like proof or fact check my intuition. It really was saying, my mind was saying, are you sure about this? And
Mm-hmm.
I was saying, yep, like, yes,
Yeah.
I feel the whole thing
Okay.
was
So
there.
that's a little more. So intuitive is just think of intuition like the what do you call it? The spectrum, right? It's like you were further down. It wasn't just a little drop of intuition. It was you're going further into the intuitive and like working intuitively, connecting in to yourself to know, okay, you're evaluating, am I taking this client? What's going to happen if I take this client? What is she going to need? She's 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 giving me all the signs I shouldn't take her. So, but I'm feeling like I'm supposed to, right?
Yeah.
So I just, I want maybe like sit and write out a little bit about that process that occurred for you. And it will help you understand that you're doing a little more than using your intuition, which is the goal. You know,
Okay.
okay. And you could have stuck with that even more if you wanted to and gotten even more information. So like in a consultation, I mean, as you're working with her now, you can intentionally start that running. So it's running during your session with her. So maybe sitting for a few minutes, get into your power before you open the Zoom and let her in.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it's like running.
I really like that idea. Thank you.
Yeah. All of you can be doing that.
That
You know,
is really,
you could be doing that when you're writing an email, when you're writing a post, like you can start running things from that part of yourself, you know? Yeah. So that's a great, thank you. That's a great share, Deb. Oh, Michelle. Oh, that's interesting. I feel like maybe we've talked about this before with your pregnancies. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else before we get into our exercise today?
I I had, I guess you could call it like a hit or a realization. After I had that dream,
Mm-hmm.
during the day after I had that dream, I felt like my brain was telling me, or my spirit was telling me, you've been dealing, even though as a child you had no lack, you
Mm-hmm.
always had abundance. You've been dealing with a lot of lack and loss for so many years now that your brain thinks that abundance isn't possible
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
And I
Mm.
think that's what's happening.
Yeah. That it's not possible for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you actually like started your life with the belief that abundance is actually my way of life. It was so
Yes.
natural. But with your life experiences as an adult, it shifted it into a new belief where
Yes.
it's not possible. And that's a
Mm.
hard belief to be having as you start your entrepreneurship, right? Because
Yes.
you're trying to build a business. And
Yes.
right, and the belief is like contradicting it. And everyone here, we've all had that, right? On our entrepreneurship journey. And we have moments of that. Sometimes we sit in that really hard. Um, so with this realization, then becomes, how do you want to now approach this? What do you want to do for yourself to
Well,
help that belief shift back?
right, right.
Mhm.
And the thing is logically, I know that's not true.
I know. Yeah.
It's a limiting belief that's not true. We know it's not true, but something inside me is is stopping me. I
Hmm.
don't know.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Um,
want to switch it so badly. It's like I want to switch it back so badly. I
yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So that actually leads beautifully into what I want to do with you all today.
Hmm.
I want to do two things. First, I want to just do a sit in the power exercise as a group today. So it's another one that you can be listening to and using. And while we're sitting in the power today, um, we're going to create a room for you to be with your soul. And what's really wonderful about creating a space to be with your soul is you'll be able to sit in the power more quickly and easily, especially when you don't have a lot of time, because it's just about returning to the room that you create, that space, you know? And then I want to shift over into manifesting. And Julie, would it be okay if we actually manifest for you today, since
Sure.
we're working on this belief? Um, and in the manifesting, I'm going to lead us in again, like with a meditation to manifest for you. But again, as a group, as our circle, creating the room where you go to manifest. You can be manifesting for each other and for yourselves. And you can be doing this anytime. And again, once you create a space, it becomes as easy as just closing your eyes and going back there, you know? Um, and it would be beautiful as we're manifesting for one another. If you go in, even if you're manifesting for yourself, remembering, oh, this was what Lindsay wanted. This is what Michelle wanted. This is what Deb wanted. And doing little droplets for each other, because it's super powerful, you know, because the beliefs just won't get in the way. And doing something before you're ready helps create you to be ready. You know, it's kind of like if you were a kid and someone threw you in a pool, you would have to thrash around and figure out what to do, right? And learn to swim through the experience. I'm not suggesting anyone ever do that to another human being, but it's kind of like with your business, starting to do things that contradict your belief, even though you're not there yet. So that as you do it, you actually start working subconsciously on that limiting belief. Because we can stand too much in the figuring out stage and not move into the doing stage. You know?
Are you saying that for my benefit?
Well, there's just been big discussions everywhere I am this week about this. And I just keep seeing people trying to figure, they know already what their belief is. And then they don't want to deal with it. So then they're searching for another one. What is my block? Let me search for another block. That can't be it. And by searching for the block and searching for the block and searching for the block and not working on any of the blocks and not doing, you're standing still. And it's easy to get caught in that, especially as a coach, because you want to figure out all the things. You know? Psychotherapists are the worst. We really want to figure out all the things in a different way. But sometimes doing it at the same time actually is what releases the resistance and shifts everything. And maybe you do it messy, sloppy, maybe you fall on your face, but you're still doing, which means you're still moving. And that block that has so much power over you isn't stopping you. You're more powerful than whatever that block is. Always. Always. Michelle says, someone's energy just got hot. Michelle, you're picking that up from us? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, it was actually Deb. I just didn't want to say that. I don't know why.
I didn't say me, but I knew you meant me.
Yeah.
That has been happening, and now it's shifting, and it's really funny to just, I think that energy was kind of like, yep.
Yeah.
So
What it felt like is Kim was putting a fire in. What Kim was saying was putting a fire under you, and your energy just came from your root and just went whoosh, like, and it was freaking hot. So anyway.
Thank you for that. And I love
thank you.
the safety you all have with one another and the openness. And because like little things like what you just did, Michelle, also is you flexing that intuitive muscle and practicing the flexing of that. It's really important.
It was the feeling confident and safe in actually saying what I felt and not doubting it. And that I agree with you, Kim. Thank you. And thanks for creating this space so that we can feel safe.
No, it's really important because you're all here together, and that's like a divine, like it's a divine pairing of you all together because of your ability to help each other grow, not just intuitively, but help each other grow where you see each other's businesses and things like that. If you take full advantage of it, especially after we're together in person, like these relationships you could help one another for a long time to come. You know, my mediumship friends that I've met in my mediumship development are some of the most dear people in my life. And it's powerful how we help each other. It really is. It's like, it's great. You got an intuitive in your back pocket, you know, who can just zoom in on you and be like, this is what's going on. And you always know if it's true, right? Because it just
Mhm.
feels either right or wrong. Yeah. And it very rarely ever feels wrong. It might feel uncomfortable because it's so right.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, and Michelle, like great use of your clairsentience and then the clairvoyance coming in, you know, the feeling of the heat and then the seeing of that. The way you described it was like those two clairs coming together to give that beautiful description. It's a really nice visual what you gave. Yeah. And the nice thing about like a feeling and a visual is like you can connect back into that, Deb. You know, if you're just having one of those moments, any one of us actually can use it, right? You just
Mhm.
have one of those moments, you're like, should I do it? Should I not do it? Like, or, you know, getting a little discouraged, and you can just like connect back into that firebomb at your root and use it.
Great tool. Thank you, Michelle.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a good one, Michelle.
Great.
So, all right, anything before we get started and create, you know, do the sitting in the power, we're just going to create a room together. And I'm just going to create the room. I'm not going to decorate the room. I'm going to prompt you to decorate the room. So you're all going to have your own space. It can be inside, outside. I'm going to just be prompting you. All right. So that you get a feeling of it, a visual of it, a knowing of it. Okay. And then we're going to just like close that down and go into the manifesting so we have enough time to manifest. Okay. All right. All right. So everybody, as usual, physically comfortable. Take a sip of water if you need your water. Always take care of the body before you sit in the power. And as this beautiful, supportive community and group of women, powerful intuitives, women who have decided to pay attention to your souls, just even the power in that alone. Let's take a deep, sacred breath together. And as you breathe in, just picturing that soul that's always swirling inside you and around you, just filling you up. Warming your body, igniting the love inside of you. Causing a deep sense of calm and safety. The safest place in the world for you always is with your soul. It will never steer you wrong. It always has your best interests at heart. It loves you powerfully, unconditionally, and infinitely. And you may even have a distinct memory of the first time your soul showed itself to you. Might have been a time when you were very aware of your intuition or very aware of the spirit world. Sometimes those first moments are exciting and magical, and sometimes they're frightening. Just call your attention to the first time your soul showed itself to you. Whatever the feeling was that you had, just allow it. Because even if it were frightening, you know now that when you're with your soul, it is the safest place for you to be. And that when you're connected to the world of spirit, it is the safest place for you to be. And the most powerful healing of all is available to you when you are there. Just call your attention to your surroundings. You may still feel connected to the room around you. You may already feel that you've gone somewhere else. It could be a place in nature, be even just a magical room in the world of spirit. Just allow yourself to be moved into that place for a moment. And first notice how it feels to be there. Notice the temperature. Notice if there's a breeze, a scent. And as you're noticing how it feels, just stretch out now into your clairvoyance and start to see your surroundings when you're with your soul. Again, are you outside? Are you still in the room in your home? Are you somewhere up in the world of spirit, in another country, in another space? Wherever you are, it's absolutely perfect for you to spend this powerful time with your soul. And if there's anything that you need with you while you are there, just place that with you. Could be an object, could be even another person, maybe a loved one who's in the world of spirit, maybe a pet, a blanket, a pillow, a photograph. Just allow yourself to place with you whatever it is that you want and need in your magnificent space. Notice if you're standing, if you're sitting, if you're lying down. If you're standing, what's under your feet. If you want to sit, what's available for you to sit on. If you want to lie down, what's there for you to lie upon. It could be soft grass, maybe cushions, bed, a meadow, the beach, maybe this beautiful place in the world of spirit they've never even seen before. Whatever it is perfect for you. Just continue to take in your surroundings. Notice if there's any sounds, music, animals, the sounds of nature. You might even hear the sound of one of your guides. And then notice anything that you're knowing while you're there. Any thoughts dropping in. Maybe they're even being played out in front of you, like words on a screen, typewriter typing. And then notice any tastes that you're having. Perhaps it's just a sip of tea. And allow you to have some time in silence to just enjoy your soul space that you have created for yourself. Being there and being with your magnificent soul. And this is your sacred soul space created just for you. And in that creation, over time, you may decide to even change it a bit, and that will be perfectly okay. You may decide to always keep it just as it is in this moment. Whatever you do is perfect for you because this is your sacred space. It has been gifted to you by your soul so that you have a place to be with it. And over time, you will be able to quickly bring yourself to this space just by closing your eyes and taking a sacred breath and moving yourself there. You will even be able to set the intention of how long you want to be there. Moving yourself from the space exactly at the amount of time that you intend. All of this is possible. Everything is possible with your soul. It only knows expansion, does not know limits. And now just taking a moment to offer gratitude to your sacred space. Maybe there's something you want to do every time you leave it. Maybe you fluff the pillows. Maybe you pick a flower. Maybe you hug your guides. Or maybe you just gently, ever so gently move your awareness back into your physical body. Notice how easy it was for you to forget it. But here it is all the time, sitting in the chair in your room, feeling that chair beneath your body, calling your attention into the rhythm of your breathing. Calling your attention to how magnificent you feel anytime you have spent some time with your soul. Beginning to take another deep sacred breath, and this time the breath connecting you back into this moment today, in your room, in your chair, feeling your body, moving your fingers, and opening your eyes whenever you are ready. Hello, ladies. How's everybody doing? Anybody want to share anything about their sacred room or their sacred space?
I noticed at the last minute I was thinking, oh, I just want to stay here. And I noticed my hands were warm, like I felt energy in my hands.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea of having my right hand on the right shoulder, like to just thank my guides, kind of
Mm-hmm.
showed up like a little picture when you said, is there anything you want to do before you leave? And then I wanted to spread something over, like a cloth. I wanted to spread something over, like whatever part of the space that I was in, that I was either kneeling on or leaving open and available for some goodies to be provided, given, explored during that
Mm-hmm.
sacred space. That was what I wanted to share.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So cool.
So when you listen to this meditation, it will help you continue to build that space. But you'll also be able to just sit without it and move yourself into that space with practice. It will be very easy for you to do that. Anybody else want to share anything? Okay.
So I was in one of my favorite spaces. And I kept, like, it was almost like I was falling so deep that I was actually falling, and I kept like lurching myself forward. I actually kind of shocked myself
Mm-hmm.
out a couple of times. So I don't know what that was.
Okay, so that can happen when, as you're shifting into deeper and deeper altered states, there can be like the mind wanting to pull you back. And then that can be a little jolting.
Mhm.
So sometimes it's the mind doing it, sometimes like maybe something just happened in your house or your computer dinged or something like that. Um, but often it's usually the mind getting a little uncomfortable, like what's going to happen if I get too deep.
Mhm.
So I feel like, Michelle, this is something we should talk about in one of your sessions, because sometimes there can be some beliefs and some fears about getting into a deep altered state, like what can happen. And so, for instance, I, for years, would not develop trance mediumship because I had some specific beliefs about what that was, specifically trance speaking, because there's different forms of trance. And I really believed that spirit was going to take over my body. And I was very confused about like, where was I going to be? And would I get back to it? And no teacher was really explaining it in a way that could like cut through that belief. So I was like, I just can't do this. And then as the years followed, I started working with another teacher who had this completely different way of explaining it all before we got started. I was like, I'm going to just try it one more time. And I was able to just let go of that fear because like my belief couldn't have been more wrong once he explained it. And he had like more of a way of explaining it that had to do with the brain. And somehow that resonated with me because like it felt more factual and not like spacey woo woo out there. um, and speaking in trance was easy as that for me. But what would happen is as I was shifting into that trance state, sometimes you can pull yourself out, Michelle. Something can pull you out. You can have like almost as you're going into that state. Let me ask you a question actually. As you're going in that state, especially because you get headaches and those are hard for you. So, for instance, for me, I had times when I was really going much deeper. And what would happen was I felt like I was having severe vertigo, like I was spinning, spinning, spinning. It was such a discomfort, this spinning feeling that I was having. I pulled myself right out. So I'm wondering if you're having like a
Falling.
physical sensation. Yeah, the fall.
It
Oh,
was
you
a
said
falling
that.
right before. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, do you see how that like physical feeling of falling could just pull you right out
Yeah.
because it's uncomfortable.
Mhm.
And the spinning, the falling, those are common sensations that people can have as they're shifting a little deeper.
Mhm.
So I just want you to know that that's like normal.
Okay.
All right. But that
Mhm.
being said, you don't want to feel that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had to like really work hard on, I don't want to spin.
Mhm.
That's not okay for me.
Yeah.
So
When you watch the replay, you'll see me. I like
yeah. Hmm.
totally.
Yeah. 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 And then it's like, you had to decide, do I go back? Do I just
Yeah.
hang? What do I do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, again, just be gentle with yourself as you're going deeper, and you're going to become aware of like the point that you're at before the falling sensation hits. And it's just with practice, like this is the first time it's happened to you. So it's like really time. And then you can work with overcoming the falling sensation. But it kind of takes a little time and like really an awareness of the shift of the altered state to know when that point is. It's the best way I can explain it, as that's what I had to do. But it took me a while because then I was like preventing myself because I was like, I don't want to be spinning, you know? Um, And my teacher was like, you have to actually keep working through the spin to get that to that next level. And I was like, well, I don't know. You know, but I don't think I had to actually experience the spin. I think I had to like work with it to prevent it to get to the next level. I don't believe I had to keep spinning worse and worse and worse and worse and then get to the next level. So to me, it's like I'm still working on that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. So I don't want you to think that you have to like go through the falling sensation. I think that I believe you can work through it as you feel it starting to come on. You're going to be very aware of where you're at and what part of that shifting of the altered state, where you can just pause a little, stay there, and then be like almost like taking baby steps to allow it. All right. Yeah. All right. Anything, Julie, that came up for you? How are you doing?
I found myself changing spaces. I
Like you couldn't
started,
make a decision.
well, it was like I wanted it to be the best space that I could think of to go to whenever I wanted to.
Yes.
So, and so I actually went to three different places, and the third place that I went to was really the best.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So continue to work on that space that you chose the next time you use the meditation. Um,
Uh-huh.
Thank you for sharing that because that's also something that can come up for people. It's kind
Mm-hmm.
of like the mind is coming in like, no, it has to be perfect. No, it has to be, can't allow it, you know? And what if I choose the wrong space? Then I'm not going to connect deeply with my soul. Like it's all those things can happen. And Michelle's raising her head. Oh, Michelle's saying she did too, Julie. Yeah, that
Yeah.
absolutely happen. Okay. Yeah. And over time for myself, my space has changed. Like there was a space, there's now a space behind the space that that's helping me with other things. Okay. So that's why I actually put in the meditation, like you may change it, it may stay the same, it may, and just allow. Okay. Because as you
Mm-hmm.
developing more, there's more being brought to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking, it was like several years later that there was a space behind the space. Okay. It's not like, oh, a few weeks later there was a space. Okay. It's just,
Right. Yeah.
mhm. Yeah.
But it was funny because it was like that was surprising to me that that was going to happen, but it was good.
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And Julie, you're so visual, like even like all your beautiful backgrounds and like your surroundings visually are very important to you as a person. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um Michelle's an artist, so like she notices details and all those things, so that's why the creation of the space, like you could be making some decisions about it. Just allow those decisions every time you do it, and eventually it's going to become what it's meant to be. And that's
Mm-hmm.
okay. All right. Yeah, remember, you can't take the person out of the medium.
That's right.
Decide, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
So true.
Yep. All right, so we have like 20 minutes left. Julie, what would you like your I am statement to be? Like, what is it that you're really needing help with right now?
Okay. Um, I I'm just gonna say I have 8 one-on-one clients. I
Okay.
have 8 one-on-one clients.
Okay. And is that connected to this topic of abundance that we were talking about?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Um, all right. I'm actually like having like Because we're supposed to manifest very specifically, which that's very specific.
Yes.
So like I'm supposed to say that was great, Julie, but there's a part of me that's feeling like we need to put something in there about the abundance.
Okay.
Enough clients for me to shift my belief about abundance, right? If that's
Yes.
8, that's what it is,
Yes.
you know? But I wonder if tomorrow, if you got 1, if it would help too.
Yes.
Stop the shifting. But maybe you need 8 to heal it, right? Do you understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I
Okay.
get it. Yeah.
Yeah. So like we need to create the movement, right? That's the first thing. All right.
Yes. We have to
Yes.
get started.
Getting started. And every time any one of you get a client, you celebrate that. You're so excited, right?
Mm-hmm.
Feels great. And it does start that movement, you know? All right. So for Deb and Michelle, as I bring us into the meditation, we create our sacred manifesting space. I'm going to be more directive in the creation of that, but then you're going to add your touches, okay? Then we're going to be sitting and seeing Julie with this abundance of clients and coming back to her belief that she had as a child that the world is full of abundance for her. Okay? So let's again just get comfortable and connect to that beautiful sacred breath. All of us together, taking in a deep sacred breath and gently allowing your eyes to close, feeling really excited to create your manifesting space, the space that you will manifest for yourself, for everyone here in this circle, in our program. And this time, the sacred breath, it's creating this beautiful green glow. And the green glow is representing the financial abundance everybody is wanting. And first, just connect to what that green energy feels like in your body, pulsing through it, filling it up. So much so, even all the way to the tips of your fingers and the tips of your toes, you are glowing in this abundant energy. And you're even beginning to glow now on the outside of your body. That green glow just beginning to fully envelop you. Anytime you want to shift into your manifesting, you just call in this green energy. It's all you need to do. And as that energy glows all around you, begins to open up this beautiful sacred room, your manifesting room, manifesting for this group. The first thing that you notice in this room is a beautiful old wooden round table. The table is heavy. It's solid. It cannot be moved. It will always be there for you. And around the table is a chair for each person in this program. 6 heavy wooden chairs, always there. Just go and choose the chair that you feel called to sit at this round table. As you sit, just feel how comfortable it is for you. It's the perfect chair for your body. Just look around the table, seeing Julie and Deb and Michelle and Nicole and Lindsay and Kim. Just noticing where each one is sitting. Maybe there's something on the table for you. It could be a pitcher of water, it could be a paper and pen for you to write on. It could be a glowing ball of energy. Whatever it is perfect for you. And as you look around the table, begin to notice there's not even any walls in this room. This table is sitting in the magnificent, vast, abundant world of spirit. And all around it is the universal unconsciousness. All the souls, all the power, the creator. And you are sitting right in the middle of this magnificent, abundant, creative energy. Just running right through the table, so that when you sit there and place your hands on the table, you are connected to it. And at this table, you can tell the universal consciousness what it is that you want. Today we focus on Julie, creating the movement of clients coming to her to help her shift her belief that financial abundance is hers for the taking. And just spend some time in quiet, manifesting this for Julie in your special way that you do for her. And Julie doing for herself. And spend a moment doing this in silence. Just gently call your attention to a beautiful golden egg of energy that's just suspended in the air above the table. And anyone who would like to have some of the healing energy of the golden ball, just extend out your hands to receive. And as soon as you receive, it just goes back up out into the world of spirit. Just calling your attention once again to being suspended in the universal consciousness where all is possible, fully connected to that energy. And knowing with absolute certainty, Julie, you are magnificent. Everything that you want is abundantly flowing to you. Clients, the income, the beliefs, and the joy. All you have to do when doubt creeps in, any one of you, is come sit at this table and be there. And as you're ready, just gently get up from your chair, moving yourself back into your room, back into your body. There it is. It's there the whole time, feeling connected into your body. Feeling the temperature of your body, your breathing, maybe even noticing the room that you're sitting in, just having an awareness of it. Just gently moving back into yourself. Fully confident that you can go and manifest anytime you choose. You just sit at the table. Just take in a deep breath, everyone together. And as you exhale, you're fully present now. Feeling your fingers and your toes and opening your eyes as you are ready. How are you all doing? You shifted into nice altered states twice today. It's really good. Really good. Anybody have anything they want to share? Was it feeling comfortable to paint that manifesting room for yourselves and the table? Michelle?
Just a couple of things. Are we allowed to share with Julie what came to us?
Is that okay, Julie?
Sure.
Absolutely.
So the first thing that I want to say is the table for me it was a tree, like the roots and stuff of a tree, like that was the base of the table. So when you said, and that's what I pictured before, you said it's so heavy it doesn't move. And I'm like, well, duh, it doesn't move, it's connected. But for Julie, it was interesting because when you said there's an item on the table for you, for me, it was a little red paper heart that was on and I thought it was paper at first, but then when we started doing the manifestation for Julie, it wasn't. It was actually a sticker. It's a seal for an envelope. And what I pictured was, I don't know if you remember when we were kids, we had the little Valentine envelopes on the backs of our chair.
Yeah.
And that
Mhm.
Valentine envelope was being filled. And it was like all these envelopes were coming down and the sticker was going on the envelope. So you have all these white envelopes with red heart stickers on the back of them in the envelope on the back of your chair.
Oh, that's
Michelle,
beautiful.
that's so gorgeous.
So, and it was a connection of your green, Kim, because green is the heart chakra color and
Mhm,
money is love. And so that's where that all kind of pulled together
mhm,
for me.
mhm. Yes.
Thank you.
And there's Michelle again, color Michelle. Um, Julie, um, maybe even writing down when Michelle said money is love. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. Thank you, Michelle, for sharing that. Beautiful. You guys are going deep very easily. It's really good. Deb or Julie, anything you want to share? Deb, you're muted.
I wanted to ask Julie if when you were little, did you really like pizza?
When I was what?
When you were little, did you really like pizza?
Oh yeah, and I still do.
Me too. Well, the first thing that happened was I smelled pizza, and then I saw your little girl sitting at the table opposite you. You saw that, Michelle? Stop.
Oh, the chair that she was sitting, it was her little girl. It wasn't her as an adult. The chair with the envelopes on the back. It was
Oh,
Julie, it was your, yeah, it was your child self. It wasn't your girl.
It's like bringing her back to you now, you know?
right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The feeling was that the little girl was nonchalantly eating her pizza and sort of like letting you know that this is easy, you know? Just, it's easy. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
you can do this. And that green aura was there, and it got really like this big, heavy green, almost like ink. Like I was seeing it heavy, like ink surrounding the table. And then there was this golden light coming up from it. And there was you opposite the girl. And there was like this veil of like green light. And there was a fan, like a funnel of people standing behind you, like waiting for you. That's what I saw.
Wow, that's nice.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And then the golden, was that in response to the golden egg and the golden sphere, or was that happening already?
It
Just
started
because I felt all of a sudden like I had to call that energy in.
it started around then. Um, I saw the brightness starting to happen, and I saw the veil, like it was like a veil of
Mm-hmm.
color, but light. And it was this golden greenish hue.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you started talking about the gold, it got really bright in the center of the table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it
Golden
was
energy
like,
is a really powerful energy to work with.
it was almost like a gold glass ball that was like emanating this gold light out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I could have sworn I saw a little gold box sitting next to it on the table, and I'm not sure what that was. It was just there.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Interesting.
Beautiful.
I don't know what that means, but
That's okay. Julie, it's kind of like you get your piece of the pie too. You know, that's all I could think of with the pizza. It's like your piece of the pie.
Right.
And both of them seeing the little girl it's, we talk about inner child work, but sometimes we got to bring the inner child back into the adult. And that's really what
That's right.
I'm talking about with you. It's different. It's a different thing, right?
Right.
Yeah. It's like about bringing her back to life.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
didn't you say in the beginning that when you were a child, you felt like very secure in that abundance? You felt safe in that abundance. You like,
Yes.
so
I felt like I didn't have a care in the world, nothing to worry about.
Mhm.
that was that freedom, that safety was definitely a feeling that I got with that little girl. She was just like, ah, so excited and joyful and just,
Yes.
Mhm.
yeah. Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful. And Julie, I'm going to push one step further and say, when you were young, your connection to spirit was very powerful and very
Mm.
strong. You didn't doubt it. And maybe thinking about that free feeling of abundance that you had as a little girl as being connected to that, not just money. And you
Mhm.
can bring that forward now as you're building this connection now back again to spirit and connecting abundance to that. And then the money will flow too,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, you know what I just came to me is that when I was a child, I never even had a thought about money because I didn't have to think about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it was almost like it was a non-existent thing
Yep.
in my inner
Mm.
child. It didn't exist.
Yeah.
And it's like now it exists and it's almost like almost this burden. It seems like a burden. Like the word burden comes to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. So going back to that again, even if you just do it a little bit each day intentionally to help
Yeah.
back for yourself could be very powerful. Um, and I'm seeing that Deb is saying she got some things for
Oh,
Michelle, sorry. I'm reading it all backwards. Michelle about Deb's book. So first of all, like that's fine because we're all at the table. Even Nicole and Lindsay, I placed them at the table even though they're not here today because that's our space to help one
Hmm.
another. Okay? So you may get hits and visions and feelings for even the person we're not concentrating on. All right? So I want to just like give you permission for that, let you know that that's okay. I think you do know that that's okay, but Michelle,
Hmm.
do you want to share that with Deb a little bit or?
At first I actually went, I'm not supposed to be focusing. Like, so I started,
Yeah.
it was
No,
wrong.
that's
But what I got was, no, the vision for Julie was complete. It's okay. Like I got all of that in that moment, right? So
Yeah.
this was it was a different section of the book than what we got last time. This one was on anger. So, and it was very emotive and very busy. Like it was, but it was clear to me the feeling of it all it was a section of the book about anger. So
Amazing. Amazing. So full on permission from me for you guys to chat more about that if you want to, or you can hold it, Michelle, because next week we're going to practice again reading for your business. Okay. And if you want, we can kind of go back into that. So up to the two of you, whatever you want to do, because even if you practice it this week, there's always more.
yeah.
There's just always more.
wow.
It is abundant, all right. So thank you everyone for today and for spending time together. Julie, thank you for allowing us to manifest for you and being open about the things that you're working on, the things that feel hard.
Mhm.
Everyone can relate to them. They really can, you know? And start to notice what starts happening. All right? Sit
Mhm.
at that table, everyone, anytime you want, even if it's for 30 seconds. It's sitting in the midst of the creator. It's a powerful space. All right. So next week we will practice reading for your business. And I want to, try to have some time to manifest for someone else too. So that's the goal for next week. Reach out with any questions. Oh, Deb, you were supposed to remind me. From
Sorry, yes.
the
Oh,
travel agent. Deb, do you want to talk about that for just a moment quickly? Can anyone hang out for like one more minute?
Mhm.
so I have a resource for us that might be fantastic to make our lives easy and help us arrive at our destination in a timely way. So I have a travel agent connection that I met who, if each one of us reach out to her and let her know where we're coming from, she could book us into the same. My idea is she could book us all into the same uh, airport within a similar time frame so that then we could all somehow take a car service or get transported over to Plum Island for our retreat. And she gets paid by the resources she uses and books us with. We don't have to pay her. I have friends that use her all the time. She's fantastic. I just met her at a funeral this weekend and also afterward had a lot of time to visit with her and my friend who lost her husband. And so, anyway, she is lovely. Her name is Linda Skinner. I believe her last name is Skinner. So, if you all are interested in doing that and you want to reach out, I can let her know that she may be hearing from a few of you and that if she could help us, that would be fantastic. What do you think?
Sure, we can look into it.
Yeah, yeah. And let her know, like, also, like, if you've already been looking, like, what your budget is for your flights and all of that. So, um, it's an option. So maybe, I know I got your permission before. Can I send the email tomorrow with like, not blind copied? And then Deb, maybe you can send an email out, like, because Lindsay and Nicole aren't here, just saying that. And anyone that wants to kind of jump on board with you can do that and see
Yeah,
what comes of it. Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. It's just kind of a gift that
Yeah.
landed in my lap lately, and I would love to share it, and it could be
Mhm.
useful for us.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. Sounds great. Thank you, ladies. Any questions for Deb about that? No? Okay. All right. All right. Have a great week. Reach out anytime, okay?
Too.
You.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.